Hello, everybody. I tried to borrow his suit coat, but I forgot that I came underdressed today. But
might be a first. Might be a first.
When the bell rang, so to speak, and we had an opportunity to start the free agent process, there was a couple of first calls we made. Obviously, there were two, our free agents, but the very first call that we made to try to encourage a player to come here was to Shane. And from the day that we did that, we were sort of relentless in our efforts. And it wasn't just me. It was the whole organization, and especially, I think, Mickey and Nick Arison, who've had a relationship with Shane for a long time. And we were just we were so happy the other night when we had a conference call with Shane and his wife Heidi and talked about a number of things. And then he said, "Get a bathing suit ready for me. I'm going to be coming to Miami." So we're very, very happy. He brings such a huge element to what it is we're trying to do as a franchise. I think he fits into the culture, obviously. He's a hard worker. One of the best defensive players in the NBA individually at 2 or 3 positions, and he's the basketball player that knows how to win, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this team. So I just want to introduce Shane Battier and open it up for questions to him.
Shane, you're a guy who obviously could have gone for bigger money, but beyond that, could have gone for decidedly set starting role somewhere else. At this point in your career, as much as you talk about it's about winning, this team is sort of all been about sacrifice. I'm sure Pat and Noah have gone on about that. I mean, is that something that almost appealed to you, that there are 8, 10, 12 guys here sort of with a collective, any role, almost any salary willing to go?
Well, the lockout was positive in respects that it gave me time to really reflect on what's important to me at this point in my life. I played 10 years in the NBA. I've been on winning teams, losing teams. And for me, it always came back to the same thing. I want to have a winning role. Every player will tell you, "Yeah, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win." And that's a half-truth. They want to be part of a winning team. And so when the opportunities were laid out before me, it was crystal clear that the Miami Heat gave me the best opportunity to have a winning role 10 years into my career, and I couldn't be happier. And just sitting there with my wife Heidi, looking at all our options, we just kept shaking our heads, saying, "Okay, what's wrong with this scenario? What's wrong with this scenario?" And whenever another team gave us an offer, we said to each other, "Does this beat Miami?" And hands down, every time the question was no. So I'm really thrilled for the opportunity to be part of something special.
Clearly, Nick Arison was promoted just to bring you in.
You're right. I sent him back to the business side.
Can you talk about that relationship with Nick and the Arison?
Well, the Arison family are wonderful, wonderful people. It's a family that I have tremendous admiration for, a tremendous amount of respect for, and I've known them for a long time. A long time, and Nick probably has better stories about our shenanigans back at Duke than I could tell you here today. But Nick's been a friend, and I've always respected what Nick has done personally and professionally. And listen, when you have a chance to do something special, it's always better, and it always feels more special when you get to do whatever that journey is with people you enjoy and respect and like. And so that opportunity to go on this journey for the next few years with Nick Arison, that's rare. That's rare. And he's my boss now, which is cool. I respect the bounds of the professional ranks here. But I'll never let him forget that he used to wash my sweaty tights. All right, so
Make him humble.
works both ways.
Shane, when this team was put together with the Big Three in the summer of 2010, you were looking on from afar. What did you think? Did you think, oh, that's not fair how they're doing, or did you think, oh, I want to join these guys when I can, or what did you think?
Well, I thought it was really creative, and I like to look at the game from all sorts of angles. I thought that obviously Pat and Andy did a fantastic job of coming up with an unbelievable game plan. It all came together, and so it was an amazing feat of NBA accounting, and an amazing job of selling those three guys to come here to do something special. And it's a testament to this franchise that those guys want to sacrifice role, money to do something special. And that's the exact same reason why I'm here.
Shane, as you look at this team, where do you see specifically that you can help on the court, but also off the court, with everything that goes on with this?
I've approached basketball the same since day one, since kiddie ball back at Pembroke Elementary School in the second grade. I just want to do my job and do whatever it takes to win. And so I can't tell you right now what I'm going to do, but I've known every team I've played on since high school to college. I've done what it's taken to help this team that I'm on become better. And if that involves waving a towel, you know what? I'm going to be the best darn towel waver in the league. And if it means going out there and playing tough defense, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. And so the beauty of our team is we're very versatile, and I pride myself on being a versatile player. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how I'm going to fit in on this team and help this team achieve the ultimate goal.
Shane, the perception of this franchise coming out of June was needed upgraded point guard, needed upgraded center. That being the case, the fact that you were Pat's first free agent call, how much weight did that carry?
It meant a lot. It meant a lot. Look, anytime a Hall of Famer calls you and says, "We want you," I don't care who you are, that makes you excited. And I was frankly surprised a little bit. But after hearing their philosophies and their goal to become even more versatile, it made sense. It made sense on all sides. And like I said, it was an easy decision to make.
Shane, if I'm not mistaken, this was the first time you've been unrestricted free agent?
Yep, first time in 10 years.
Could you describe that process and how you tried to decide what was going to be important to you?
Yeah.
That you were actually be able to dictate your terms.
I'm a creature of habit and of routine. And so the lockout threw a wrench in that plan. I was hanging around my house way too much. If they wanted to solve the lockout, they should have got the wives involved. All the wives out there were ready for their husbands to go back to work, and they would have got us back. And so just sitting around waiting was difficult for me, and not knowing the terms, the places I could really fit into, because I couldn't talk to teams, obviously. So finally, about a week and a half ago, when we had a handshake deal, it's been a really quick week and a half for me to try to digest all the information coming at me, and try to digest and just imagine all the scenarios where I could play out my next couple of years. You throw that into a very compressed time schedule. With people still trying to digest, teams still trying to digest the salary cap. So teams were interested in me, but they didn't know how much they could offer me. While I knew there were some teams that were really interested and really wanted me, and so it was a difficult standpoint from the standpoint that there just wasn't enough time to digest all the information. But after about 3 days, it became pretty clear that Miami was the team to beat because of what I said. They offered a winning role, and but I'm glad I don't have to go through that process again in a lockout year.
Shane, you and Eddie were 2 picks apart in the 01 draft, and obviously took wildly different paths to get here. Just what did you see? As you're looking around trying to get a feel for the place, what did you see from him today? Okay.
Well, I think Eddie is he'd probably tell you that he wishes his career had turned out a little bit different. But he's given an unbelievable opportunity to come to camp and to earn a spot on a championship level team, and we'll see what he's made of. Obviously, our team needs size, and we need someone down in the middle to bang with the likes of Dwight Howard and Andrew Bynum. He's a big guy, I'll tell you that. I ran into a screen that he set today, and I won't be doing that again. And so you hope that he's matured enough to understand that he's got a great opportunity here, and it's up to him to really seize it.
Pat, there was a lot of wings on this market, a lot of veteran wings. How did you feel when Shane was the guy you wanted? And it looked like from the signings you made, you wanted to get depth and upgrade the wings. Why did you go that direction?
I think the versatility, first and foremost, always reminded me a little bit of, what I had for 9 years in Los Angeles, and Magic and Cooper and Scott and Worthy, basically as the perimeters that played all different positions. Could play 4s and 3s. Magic could play the 4, even though he couldn't defend the 4. But Worthy would. We put Magic on a 4. Worthy would play the 3, and I see Shane and Mike Miller, and I see obviously Dwayne and LeBron in almost the same kind of thing. And so Coach has an opportunity, and it makes it a lot easier when you're starting to sub, and who to put who on who. That I thought that Shane could fit that role perfectly. So. He even asked me, he said, is LeBron going to play the 4? I said, at times, he probably will. He said, well, who's going to guard the 4? I said, you'll probably guard the 4, but he'll be the 4 on offense or something, And so I think that versatility and that thought process about how Spo wants to play this year, when we get Mike healthy, we're going to have, I think, 4 of the best, most versatile perimeter guys in the league that can play 1 through 4.
Pat, Eric Spolster said you looked at Shane and maybe tried to get him before, Can you talk about that? Maybe how long you've been trying to land this guy, or any scenarios or anything like that before? Or?
Well, he's always been on, on our radar, obviously, but and we've always tried to, at times, acquire him. It was the price at that time was real high. It was like Dwayne, So we said, well, we had a good thought about that. No, we would try to get him one day with Dwayne, but he always was of great value to his teams, and it was very hard to pry him loose, from anybody. So when he got undone restricted free agency, we, as a group, it wasn't just me, but we as a group, the consensus was his name was right at the top of the list.
Shane, how well do you know Dwayne and LeBron off the court?
I had a chance to play with Chris, Dwayne, and LeBron in 06. I was on the World Championship team. If you look way down the roster, way down at the end of the bench, there I was, waving the towel. But I got to know those guys a little bit during that process. And look, those guys they're unbelievable in terms of talent and off the charts. But you don't get to that level if you're not a hard worker. And you take your craft seriously and want to reach those levels, and so that's what I'm really excited to be around. I've always prided myself on being around those type of guys and making those guys better, and that's why I'm here. So I'm really excited to get to know those guys and try to help them be better.
Did either of them reach out to you during the process, try to convince you to jump aboard?
We traded text messages. And obviously when those guys reach out to you, those are text messages you take back to your wife and say, look who just texted me. We're all fans here. We're all fans, all right.
That was all 3?
Yes, I got text messages from all 3, and that meant a lot. It meant a lot that they expressed their wishes for me to be in Miami, and that carries a lot of weight, obviously.
How did you learn Shane's relationship with? I'm sorry.
Just give me one. What did you learn about Coach Spolster today that you obviously didn't know before?
Well, his reputation around the league is one of preparation and hard work. Obviously, coming from the video room to the head coaching spot of the Miami Heat is impressive in itself. But I'm going to enjoy playing for him. He's a coach that enjoys the cerebral part of the game. And I sort of get off on that too. As weird as that sounds, just the chess match that is basketball, and that's something he and I will be able to talk about. And I'm looking forward to learning a few new tricks from him.
You saw from afar what this team went through last season. did that look like fun? And do you think this is going to be fun this year? Does it matter?
From afar, no, it did not look fun. From afar, the perception is that it was a chaotic experience that was just hair raising and a new saga every single day. But when you talk to the guys who are in the locker room, you realize it's just like any other NBA locker room. And you know, NBA locker rooms are a funny place. They're as dysfunctional as any family out there. You get your good days, your bad days, days you can't stand talking to a guy, a day where you just want to hug a guy. This locker room is no different. There are guys getting on each other. There's guys picking each other up, and so I think that's a misperception that I had, and thankfully I know that will be different. But it's like any other locker room in the NBA.
Shane's relationship with the Harrison family notwithstanding, you knew what you could offer him, and you knew what a lot of other clubs could offer him. How realistic did you think this was when you made that phone call?
I thought it was. I thought we had a good shot for the, for the reasons that I felt that he would want to come here, and that he would, probably want to play on a great team. I don't know some of the other teams that made offers for him. I only heard, but he'd want to play on a great team, an opportunity to win a championship. And as he said, a lot of guys will say, I'd like to go and play for a championship team, but they're not talking about a role. I mean, he's going to have a very specific role here. He's going to have an opportunity to play for a contender. And so, I felt good about it with, Mickey and Nick and Andy and myself, and I think what we laid out for him the best we could, that he knew that's all we had was the mid-level, and he, in the end, made the decision about winning, than going somewhere else.
All right, guys, we'll get a photo now with the jersey.
Sorry, it's not blue.
As long as it's not Carolina blue, that's all right.
There you go, grab the other side.
jersey?
And we can flip it around to you guys. All right, guys, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, my man. Thank you. See you here. Thank you.